Good morning, good afternoon, greetings and salutations. Good evening to wherever you are in the world watching today. We have Robin Delissa, who is looking delicious, and our special guest today is Lise Li. And Lise Li is the Bitcoin Association's manager for China, who has been mining before, so is a bit of an expert in the mining world and is building apps on the BSV blockchain. And also, Lisa's been a guest speaker at many blockchain conference-based events around the globe, and she will be in attendance at the London Blockchain Conference, which is being held in May, June. That is going to be at the Queen Elizabeth II Centre near Parliament Square in London. So if you want to attend, you can look at the link in the description and get your tickets and come along and meet the Women of BSV, and Lise will be there as well. Thank you so much for joining me, because you are in Shanghai, aren't you?
Yes, and I'm really happy to be invited to this show. And I used to participate in some of Women of BSV events in the past.
Yes.
So I know I'm happy to see this organization is growing gradually, and now we have more women like joining BSV ecosystem and focusing on the new technology. So I'm really happy to be part of this organization and witness the progress of these Women of BSV.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. Yeah, because it was a Christmas event, and I think there was about 10 of us, and we all wore Christmas hats. Craig turned up, and we had Kurt Wockett Jr. there as well, and we had a full screen of people. Yeah. So it was a really good event as well. So thank you so much for joining us then as well, and thank you for that as well. That's a lovely thing.
I'm in Shanghai, and actually I'm in the office. So it's right now it's almost 10 p.m. So it's I really want to show you the beautiful night view out of my window. However, I have the light on, so it may not be able to see that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Lots of neon lights, I should imagine, knowing what China is like. I lived in Beijing for a bit, and in the evenings it's just lit up so amazingly. It looks absolutely brilliant, and there's so much activity and everything going on. I'm in the UK. It is grey and wet and dismal, just like typical UK weather. What's it doing for you down there, Robin?
It is sunny and beautiful and hot.
I'm so jealous.
Coffee shop to come join you guys, and it's yeah, but my internet's still spotty, so I apologize.
That's all right, not a problem. So Lise, I'm going to go straight in, and I'll do a bit of a deep dive of basically your Bitcoin journey. What inspired you to become involved in blockchain, and how you ended up being the China manager for the BA?
Well, it's a long story and full of like surprise and unexpected things. So back in 2018, actually, I was asked by one of my high school classmates to joining his startup company, who's like just began to run mining business. So I thought, oh, it's a really like a new thing to me. Before that, I actually never heard of Bitcoin at all. So, however, I think I just thought it's a big challenge for me. Before that, I was doing my own business in the e-commerce industry, and for years. However, around like 2018, the industry has become more mature, and it left me no more space to grow or challenge myself further. So I just thought maybe it's time for me to pursue a new industry, to pursue a new career. So I said, yes, okay, I want to join and want to see where it can lead me to. However, to be honest, back then it's a new established company, and everyone has no experience in Bitcoin. So it's like we are a team, and most of us are like engineers and developers, and we are a new team. All of us are pretty new to this industry. However, our investor for that startup company wants to like invest a huge amount of money on Bitcoin mining. So we have a small team purchasing hardwares, machines, and also a very big team to set up the pool. And we actually running the machines ourselves, and also host all the hash power ourselves. So back in 2018, our company was actually ranked like top 3, usually top 2 BCH miners in the BCH network. That's how I got the chance to know and meet Calvin, Craig, and Jimmy at the Bangkok BCH Summit. That the famous event right before the hash wall. So it's really like a very interesting experience that me personally entering that meeting room and spending the whole 2 days with all the participants, all the BCH miners, and all the BCH developer teams in that small meeting room. And yeah, I want to highlight this. Actually, I'm the only woman. I'm the only woman in that room. So
Imagine you are a hero.
No, it just because before that I used to attend like several blockchain conferences. So I didn't realize back then. I didn't realize that there was so few women working in this industry, especially for those like technical or like those high level business negotiation scenario.
Yeah.
So actually, I should thank to my former CEO, my former boss. He gave me the chance to like attend the conference with him. I actually did a lot of homework before I traveled from Beijing to Bangkok, and I also remember that on the flight to Bangkok, I also like talked to him a lot. All my preparation for the conference. I also did a lot of research on like on N-chain. Back then there were N-chain and Bitcoin ABC and Bitcoin Unlimited. And also the argument, the conflicts of that upgrade is like C-Tor, T-Tor, and all the script language changing something. So I did a lot of homework and kept saying that. I also did some background check with those key people behind those 3 teams. So I still remember that. And before I headed to Bangkok, I noticed that actually there was some BCH like chat group on WeChat. Not sure whether you two are familiar with WeChat. It's like a super app quite popular in China. Yeah. And there were like millions of messages every day on those BCH chat groups. So I noticed that there's someone with the name CSW that kept talking to people. So I kind of guessed, well, is that really correct? And it was really correct. So I texted him.
Was he speaking in Chinese at that point as well? Because I know he studied Chinese. I'm just really intrigued.
He studied Chinese language for many years. He's very good at writing and reading. However, it's like very awful in speaking. I have to say that. So for me, can we cut this part? Kidding. We can keep that. So I just guessed, oh, is that really correct? So I texted him, yes, it was really correct. And he knew that I was working for Rawpool, and he knew that Rawpool was one of the biggest BCH mining pools back then. So he asked me, oh, can we talk face to face before the conference? And I said, oh, our flight will be like very late right before the conference day. So, and he suggested that maybe we should have like a breakfast meeting on day 1 of the conference. So actually me and my boss went to their hotel and have a breakfast meeting with N-chain people. So that's the first time I met Calvin, Craig, Jamie, Stefan, Steve Shadders, Jerry Chen, and perhaps a few other people. Sorry, I can't remember all of them.
That's
So
a lot of big
this,
players though for breakfast, really. I mean, were you expecting
Right?
yes, if I want to share more, the day was quite special because, you know, Bangkok, the traffic in Bangkok is like horrible. It's like hell. So actually, the conference venue is where we stayed. The hotel we stayed in the hotel that where the conference will be held. However, Unchained team they stayed in another hotel. It's actually only like less than 2 kilometers, I think, less than 2 kilometers. However, it took us almost 50 minutes from our hotel to that hotel. So the traffic was horrible. So yeah, they expect us to arrive early so we could have like breakfast all together and have discussions. However, when we arrived there, they have finished their breakfast, and I was very hungry. I really want to take something to eat because it was a late flight. However, we still did a little talk, and during that breakfast meeting, I was surprised. I remember whether it's Jerry or Calvin, not Calvin, should be like Jerry or Jimmy, explained why skating is important to me and my boss. So I remember that topic. They just kept saying we need to focusing on the fee part. That is how the miners could have sustainable profitability from doing this business. And skating is very important. Why T tour doesn't work for for skating. All those technical topics.
Was that the first time that you'd heard about the scaling and the fees? Was that the first time that that had been brought to light to you?
Usually, I only read that. Before that, I only read that on in the articles. So what shocked me the most is that I thought the room was full of business people, right? They should talk about how we could make BCH be popular. And usually, when I went to those like conferences, blockchain events, people talk about this, how we could do like smart investment speculation on the price. So what shocked me the most is that those people, they actually told me why scaling is important, why those technical changes raised by Bitcoin ABC won't work in the future, and why that could stop Bitcoin like from scaling. So I was shocked by that. And then we kind of they called like 1 or 4 vans. So we headed to the conference all together. So it's a closed door meeting. So only have like 30 people in the room, and half of us are from mining pools, and the other half are those BCH developers teams. So that's how I got involved with the former BSV, the BCH
That's
team.
an amazing
story.
story. Honest,
Yeah. So when you say that this was the infamous meeting in Bangkok, why do you call it infamous? Is it because it was just before the BCH BSV split, or is there another reason why you call it kind of the infamous meeting?
Yeah, because that meeting was actually like they put people all together trying to fix these conflicts, right? And after that meeting, I think both parties or all parties realized that it's no way that people can reach an agreement on anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so the hash
so that was the
the
turning
hash
point.
wall or the hard fork is inevitable. At least on my point of view, it was inevitable to have like this hard fork. So but still I tried to talk to different groups during that 2 days. So every like coffee break or lunch or dinner, me and my boss, we just talk to as many people as possible. So we also talk to like BTC.com, also talk to Jihan Wu, and also talk to Omri, the one who's leading Bitcoin ABC. So they all give me different opinions. So that's what happened in Bangkok. So the funny thing is I actually took a few photos during the conference. So last year also someone from the team who's doing some documentary for Craig and for BSV journey, they I said, okay, I did take a little photo, take a few photos during the conference. So they asked me whether I can provide the photos. So it's one of the few like materials from the event.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you did the research, you spoke to so many different people, and you realized that BSV was going to win the hash war because of the scaling aspect, right? I mean, it's really an incredible story to have been there and walk us through that journey.
Yeah, the first presentations were given by Craig and Jimmy. So they explained scaling strategy and why scaling is important in details. They also showed some. Now I see those functions are quite simple and easy. People should understand it right away. However, until now, we still see that many people, like most of the people in this industry, they still don't get the point.
Why do you think that people get it wrong?
I think because the scaling and also the scaling capability and the fee profitability is only matters to the miners. And we all know that there are only a few people in this industry are involved in mining. So those people, even though those people, they should care about the scaling and the fee. However, some of them, because of different intentions or some from different purpose, they don't want to admit that scaling is a critical part of how to make this industry to be to live long, right?
So why do you think, since we're talking about it and people that are not familiar or that maybe do misunderstand it, like how would you summarize why it's so important? Like what was the conclusion that you came to why scaling is important?
Because we all need to build things or do things on a sustainable system. If there's no scaling, that means there will forever there will be only a few people who can use this system and who can generate revenue from this system. And also for the miners, right? The Bitcoin system was designed to half every 4 years. So with the subsidy getting lower and lower, next year and also in 5 years, in 9 years, how could this system still be business or people want to invest on maintaining the infrastructure of this network? So it's quite a simple thing. People should understand that. So I just thought people in this industry, they don't want to admit or they don't want to face this fact because they have different purpose. They want to get easy money by just speculating on tokens or something. Yeah. I think most people, they are able to understand this idea. However, they just don't want to face it right now. They don't want to put it on the table and let other people understand and get on the right road.
Right. So many people are running Ponzi schemes and trying to get rich overnight, so it doesn't feed their agenda. And unfortunately, that's what's become mainstream, right? So
Yeah.
They confuse a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think like me and also you two, we also always feel very frustrated to see that the mainstream in this industry, they are not thinking the same way as us, right? However, because I kind of being convinced by N-Chain team, so I asked the contacts information from Steve and Jimmy and also Jerry. So when I got back to Beijing, I kind of volunteer doing some translations for N-Chain's articles, because back then the Bitcoin ABC was supported by Bitman. So every like articles, every publications released by Bitcoin ABC have Bitman support. So many Chinese people, they can get access to the Chinese translations of that. So I personally helped N-Chain to do some translations for their release.
Yeah.
And send it to N-Chain. They even published that on their website.
So then you got even more deep dive education going through that.
Yes, yeah. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So by doing this, I also, Robin, you're so smart. Yeah, because by doing this, I kind of like learned deeper and deeper about the BSV's concept.
Yeah.
Even though the company I worked for, we didn't got involved in the hash war. We just forward all the hash power to BTC pools, because the company I cannot decide. I cannot make decisions for the company.
Yeah.
However, still want to do whatever I can to support the right party to do that.
It's interesting when like you do see the bigger picture and you see the long-term future, and that is something that I always get from Craig, is like he can see 20 years into the future of where he wants to be, not just sort of a couple of months, like we said about, you know, making a lot of money in a very short period of time. It's not about that. It's about sustainability and about being able to continue with the network 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years into the future. And that's something that I really commend you for as well, because you say not a lot of people can really get their heads around that, because they don't have that forward vision. And talking about that, I mean, how do you envision this evolving in the future for, you know, for yourself? What are your long-term goals, you know?
Well, I still don't think that I'm smarter than others, so that I can envision that the scaling and the BSV is the right path. I don't think that's because I'm smarter than others. It's just most people, they are able to see this. They are able to understand the idea. However, they just think they just have this short-term thinking, right?
Yeah.
And also they know that BSV, I heard from a lot of people, they know that BSV is doing the right thing. And they also know that it will take us like years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 20 years to achieve our ultimate goal. For them, they just don't want wait for that long.
Yeah.
So that's what I see from the people around me. However, for me, because I think I was lucky enough to like have the chance to talk to Craig like face to face, and also like see him what he's doing, and also I got the chance to know the people around him. I got the chance to know the team, the whole team supporting his vision. So I think it's really, for me, it's really like a blessing for me to be able to find a team who's like all have this long-term vision and wants to work together and like overcome all these challenges, and we all work together and pursuing the same goal. So yeah, it's not always about the how you can get like easy money or like quick money in 1 year or in a very short term. It's for me, it's like if I can work with a very extraordinary team with extraordinary people, and we have a very like great goal to pursue all together. All this experience, and the journey with these people, is that is more important for me.
Yeah. And even the people that you met right off the bat in that breakfast meeting, I mean, you met the best of the best, like brilliant engineers, brilliant. I mean, Jimmy was a top IP attorney before, the Bitcoin world, and just so eloquent and well-spoken. I mean, Jerry Chan is brilliant. I mean, every one of those individuals, like you could not have asked for a better team to work around. Calvin, Craig, I mean, the level of intellect is insane.
Yeah, so I think, Robin and Didi, I think you two must understand how I feel for working like with these people, and I really feel that I'm really, really lucky. I know that a lot of people who also want to contribute to the ecosystem, who also are very competent, can do things better than me. I just got the chance, like back in 2018, I got the chance to be able to sit at the same table with BSV people, and I got chance to maintain our relationship even after that conference, and I got the chance to be trusted by them. So I always think I'm lucky to
you
get
are
position.
lucky, but we wouldn't trade you for the world. No, you're not going anywhere. We're all talented in our own ways, but we wouldn't trade you for the world. I've seen you at all of the conferences over the years, at least the ones that I was lucky enough to attend, and you're just a fabulous representation of BSV and an educator, and you're a delight. So we wouldn't trade you.
Yeah. Also, because after taking this role in BA, I also know that I'm not good enough for like taking all these responsibilities. So I kind of spend like hours listening to Jimmy's presentations and Craig's lectures. I also need to keep learning. And also for the first few times I stand on the stage, I felt very nervous on the stage and speaking to a big audience. However, now I feel more comfortable, and for different occasions, I feel more comfortable. I think I can handle it very well, much better than before.
It's one of the things that people say is one of the hardest things to do, is to actually do public speaking, especially on stage. And this is, where I find that my Actors Workshop is really cool, because it helps you build up confidence and then be able to deliver in front of people. And you will still get nervous and you will still get stage fright, but it's the fact that you can actually do that and deliver something comprehensible and something that people are enjoying and want to learn more about. And I love the fact that you say about learning, because being an eternal student is something that I know Craig says this as well, but being an eternal student is something that I really relish. I love learning, and I don't think anybody can know enough. So the more information that you can gather, the better, the more knowledge, I think the more rounded and mature of a person that you can be. And I think that's also a wonderful thing. I have got a question for you, because obviously you're in China. So what do you feel are the biggest challenges facing BSV adoption in China at the moment, and how are you working to overcome those?
I think there are like several challenges. However, it's not only in China. I think the challenge for BSV is kind of the same in everywhere. What makes China special is that we actually like banned crypto trading, which made every company or every group, if they are interested to adopt the BSV technology, the first thing they're concerned is that how they can get access to BSV tokens, right? If it's not allowed to trade, or for companies to legally purchase or hold or sell or trade
mine
BSV,
right?
or mine BSV tokens. However, how could they use BSV network without tokens? So that's the key problem. However, I know that in other countries, even though they allow crypto trading, however, for those traditional companies who don't have who cannot trade crypto, who don't have the permission to trade crypto, they also have the same problem. For like those traditional companies, it's not allowed them to purchase, hold, or like trade or use tokens. So I think that's one of the biggest challenge. The second one is that in China, there are our competitors are actually not those like Ethereum, Solana, or something. In China, there are many like giant tech companies. They launch their own blockchain. They call it like private chain or enterprise chain.
So like Baidu, is Baidu?
Yeah, like Baidu, like their chain is called Super Chain, X Super Chain, and Alibaba, they launched their Ant chain.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. Yeah,
all of them. So in China, our competitors are those private chains launched by those local giant company.
yeah,
So
and you got to
for
remember
them,
there's like, is it 1.4 plus billion people in China as well? So you're talking a huge market, really.
yeah. So, however, the good thing is that from my point of view, it's also very difficult for them to promote their blockchain to their client. You know, like Baidu and Alibaba, they've already have like so many business built on their own ecosystem, right? However, by like for them, it's also difficult for them to convince their clients to utilize their blockchain. So I just think maybe right now the economy is not that good because of this pandemic crisis, right? So for most enterprise, for most business, by adopting a new technology is costly. However, they cannot see like the instant revenue generated from adopting a blockchain. So that's the main obstacle for us and also for other blockchain to have like those real business building their business on blockchain.
Okay.
So for me, I think it's just it's just the timing, right? Maybe this year most business don't care. Maybe next year they will use that, because like 2 weeks ago I just realized that I kind of have my WeChat account 10 years ago. So that's
Oh, wow.
last week is actually my 10th anniversary of my WeChat account.
Gosh.
So, however, now we can see that every Chinese people have smartphone and have a WeChat, and we use WeChat. We use smartphone for everything. If you come to China, you will see that no one's bringing their wallet or cash with them. For me, and I think I've stopped using cash for almost 5 years, at least 4 to 5 years. So no cash, all digital payment. So it only happened within these 5 years. Can you imagine that? So I just think right now all these challenges is just because of timing. Maybe it doesn't work now. However, maybe next year or 2025, things will change completely. So for now, I know it may disappoint. Maybe many people in this ecosystem will sometimes feel disappointed, will sometimes feel frustrated about why still BSV is not become a huge success, why it's not being recognized by many people. However, all of us, the work we've been doing, like the show you two are running, all of this is just accumulated gradually. And this will be part of the base we built for BSV ecosystem. And we just wait for the right timing.
Yeah, it's true. We're in the long game. Like you said earlier, this is a very long game. When years ago, even back in 2018, 2019, I always said I always said, and people got mad at me for saying this, but I always said, like, I believe that Bitcoin will be one of the greatest revolutions in human history, but I may not see it in my lifetime, but my kids will see it in their lifetime, and my kids will definitely see it in their lifetime. And I think it's such an interesting time to be alive, one, and it's such an interesting thing to be a part of, and we're all lucky to educated ourselves enough to be aware of what's really going on and what Bitcoin was really designed to do in the white paper, right? But so Lise, I have a question for you. With the Alibaba and the Baidu blockchains, I assume that those are private blockchains, right?
Yeah.
Right. So interesting that people think that, I mean, there's really no such thing as a private blockchain, right? Doesn't Craig say there's no, it's all
exactly.
It's all a database.
So when yeah, it's just a distributed database, distributed server, right?
Yes.
I know. So for me, when I'm doing like the government outreach or like lobbying or doing some business outreach, I often need to spend like a lot of time explaining to people that it's not blockchain. It's not it's not blockchain.
It's so misunderstood. It is not blockchain. It is a database. It is decentralized or distributed database, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's not going to get the utility that Bitcoin offers, right? I mean, we can process over 100,000 transactions per second, right? And Visa and MasterCard on Black Friday at their peak process 60 to 75,000 transactions per second, right? If we're already doing over 100,000 for a fraction of a penny, and Craig always talks about getting to petabyte size of data being processed per second for 1,000th of a penny. I mean, at the end of the day, technologically, we've won. I mean, the hash wars, even if people don't realize it, because you are faster, smarter, cheaper, more efficient than any other solution out there. And it certainly doesn't, you're comparing apples to oranges when you're comparing a private blockchain, which is literally nothing more than a database, right? I mean, it's such a simple concept, but yet still so misunderstood.
Yeah, that's why compared to like giving speech on those business conferences or to the government, to the companies, I actually kind of more like giving lectures in the universities, because those students, they don't have those I don't know how to say, the bias on
bias or preconceived notions. They're not tainted by the hash words. There's no preconceptions for them. Yeah.
No. So when I just teach them the structure, the design of Bitcoin, how the data structure looks like, how this can ensure the security of the network, the security of the data, and why scaling is important. How Bitcoin was issued to the network gradually, and most students, like those smart young students, they can get it. So after the class, usually the most often question I was being asked was around scaling and around how the fee could be more in the future, and how could a block hold more data, more transactions. So that's actually makes me very happy to see that yes, we have some young people, maybe in 3 or 5 years, they will go out of the university, and they will do starting to take some important roles in their companies, and they may be the people who can make the decision to adopt the BSV in their companies
in the future.
Right?
Yes. How do you do that out? I mean, how do you do that outreach? Do you physically go? Do you ring them up? What, who do you target? Do you target the fintech students, economic students? Who is it that you computer science students?
Yeah, good question. I know that people often see me that if they go to follow BA's Twitter, they will see that I often go to universities to give lectures. However, for each university, it's actually being outreached by different ways. So maybe it's a little not appropriate, but I have to say I'm really good at business development. I know how to deal with people. I know how to convince people and get people's trust. So I'll just give you maybe 2 examples of how I successfully approach universities. So usually the reason I think a public speech is important for BA, at least for my role in BA, is that after making a excellent speech on the stage, when I got off the stage, people always come to me and want to discuss with me and want to have a further visit or meeting after the conference. So that's how I think by standing on the stage, give a very good speech can influence people.
Mm-hmm.
So there used to be some professors when I'm doing some presentations, and they were being touched by some of my some contents on my presentation. So they just come to me and ask me further questions. And that's where I think learning is very important, because those professors, their questions are very deep, very technical. So I gave them, so I think they must be very satisfied or feel very interested in my answer. So they send invitation. They just say, oh, why not someday you come to my university and give a lecture to my postgraduate students or to my researchers. So that's usually, I got outreach to like 2 or 3 universities by doing this. Just make a public speech and got the professor's attention.
Do you have any recordings? Because I would love to share that. I think that is so it's so much more educational. It's in, like you said, they're going to ask more in-depth technical questions, and it would be so insightful for our viewers. Are any of your talks at the universities recorded, or is there anything that we could share?
We record some of them, and it was like released on BA's YouTube channel. Most are in 2021. Last year, because China is like locked down again. So last year, all the campus won't allow like external visitors to get in. And also there like others is that I being invited or introduced by some BSV advocates in China. Some of them, you may not believe that there are like many of BSV supporters in China. They actually kind of have doctor's degrees.
Cool.
In China. So see, we attract those very smart, like super smart people.
Yeah.
So some of them, they still have like good relationship with their professors, tutors at school. So they introduced me to like first have a dinner with the professor, and then at the dinner I try to impress them, and then I got the invitation to give lectures.
That's amazing.
So I also got a lot of help from people from this ecosystem.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for individual businesses that are looking to get involved in BSV in China? I mean,
actually, it's for me, I seldom convince them to get involved in BSV, because if they are running like legal business, I cannot solve the problem of how they could access to BSV tokens. However, I do encourage some people, if they have a R&D team, or they have an IT team, if they are very interested in blockchain solutions, they can have 1 or 2 engineers, and I will provide some technical documents, materials to them, and they can do some research and do some testing pilot projects on it. However, because I cannot solve the token issue for them. So it's not appropriate for me to convince them over and over again, oh, please use BSV blockchain. I said it's not the good timing. However, doing these educational things and also onboard more engineers to start learning or go through our like technical materials, I think it's a good start to gradually have some like developer space in the future.
So you mentioned about lobbying as well. What's the reception been like from the people that you've been lobbying with? Because I mean, obviously that's sort of government.
Yeah. This is it's actually also a positive positive outcome from doing those lectures in the universities. Because in China, lots of professors and universities, they are supporting government projects. So they kind of doing some like research or researching projects or consulting for the local governments.
Yeah.
So so for the professors, they also need someone who got like great experience in the industry.
Yeah.
And someone from the Ivory Tower, right? The only like doing those paperwork. So I was being asked to join their research team, and also we kind of visit the city and also have like meetings during a day with different departments of the government agencies. So it's not allowed to take photos or being promote publicly. So maybe most people don't know that I'm also doing some like private meetings with the government officers and joining a few research projects, because it's not allowed to like publicly say that.
You sound like you are extremely busy, and in the process well, you're also building apps and things. So I know that on the Bitcoin Association, it's bitcoinassociation.net videos. There are other videos for you on there. I can put the link in the description as well. But there is one specifically about building apps on the best public blockchain. So what kind of apps are you building at the moment? I mean, are you allowed to say, or are they all secret kind of?
Oh, yeah, it's not the app that most people assume that, or like using BSV tokens as a network. However, we are doing some, because we try to make BSV like things more be easy accessible for Chinese people, and we all know that most things are English language, and also it's on YouTube or on Twitter or some sites that are not easily accessible for Chinese audience. So currently we are like doing several educational projects in China. So one is that we partnered with the biggest IT community platform in China, and we actually launched a educational site with them last year, and also launched a developers zone with them 2 years ago. So there people can easily get access to all the technical materials, like the webinars we did in the past, like tens of webinars, maybe over 40. And also we translated the several courses of the BSV Academy. And also because we also want to like encourage people to finish the course. So the local partner also do some certification for the people who finish the course and pass the examination. So the certification is quite is also being used by people when they try to find a job. Yeah, and also we this year we plan to build an independent website because in China, people are get used to use like smartphone to do everything. So we're trying to build our own, not an application, but just you can like read or see the video on your phone more easily. And also we try to make the registration more easily for people, because if we call the third party, because in China, every platform needs to be very strict KYC for every user. I know in UK or in the USA, you just put a like email and you can finish the registration. In China, no. It's either connect to your phone number or to your WeChat or to your Alipay account, and it's all KYC. So
which in a way is good, because when they get the certification, then you know it's truly them that's done the education and earned the certification, right? So in a way, it's good.
Yeah. Thank you. I didn't expect that. You think it's a good thing. However, it's just we try to be more flexible, because we want to expand this educational platform. If right now we have several people in different Asian countries, regions, they saying that they want to like doing their doing the BSV Academy in their own language, and they want to like have some place to host the course. So I think maybe if we are like managing and operating our independent side, it could be easy for our future partners to like, we could make it like a very diversified with multiple language, like an all-in-one educational platform. So that's what we are doing this year.
Good. That's amazing. You know, I think, Lise, when you were in Miami last, I think I mentioned that was one of the visions I had, and certainly Diddy and I've talked about this. One of the visions I had for the job board, right? We have this crypto job board, but we could really turn it into a platform that is much more robust than any job board that's out there today. It could be a freelance job board, like a Upwork.com or, you know, one of those types of programs. It can have a wallet, right? So we know that if I need to consult with Lise Li, I know that she charges $100 an hour, and I can go on there and I can click and reserve an hour of her time, and I pay right then and there. Boom, I'm on her calendar. Boom, I pay her crypto wallet right then and there. And then when people do work, they could have verified reviews from Connor Murray's Bright Reviews, right? You have a verified review on chain that I hired Lise Li for a project. She did the work. I go and I leave a recommendation, and it's on the blockchain. It's not just a friend leaving a nice recommendation on LinkedIn. It's a verified. We verified that the employment was done on the chain, and then the review and the recommendation for that person is done on chain. And then we could have a whole educational platform that ties in the universities, the professors, the students all around the globe at these universities, and people that just want to learn Bitcoin. And whether it's the BA's, Bitcoin Academy, whether it's See to Learn, or now these wonderful classes that Craig is doing with master's class, and with even the philosophy classes, all of these things could be in one spot. And then when employers are looking at these students as they start considering these students for internships, and as they start considering these students for jobs, then they can see right there on one job board or one website, and it could tie to your website, or we could replicate it or whatever. But you would see right there that these people are actually certified in, you know, at different levels of courses, whatever that might be. It could be the theory of Bitcoin, right? It could be any of the courses. So regardless of who builds it, I think that is one thing that's really needed and would be very, very beneficial to everybody in the ecosystem and everybody trying to learn Bitcoin.
Yeah, we are not only do the course from the BSV Academy. We actually, for the past 3 years, we actually cooperate with several different BSV companies, and let them to working with them to do a series of video course and release them on our platform, such as the Enchant's webinar back in 2020, the 2 series of webinar. We have some Chinese presenters to do a copy of the English content. And also like Script, we did like several series of course, like targeting Chinese developers. And also we used to work with an on-chain developer doing a series of course on Bitcoin signature, digital signatures. So yes, we expect to have more collaboration on the educational course in the future. And some people say, oh, it's only translation. However, no, because we have to make sure the things we publish, the things that we want to educate to people should be accurate and like very high quality, right? People will only give us like 10 minutes to go through the video course or the article course, right? If they think, oh, what did it say? It makes no sense. It's just the AI translation, right? Then people will just leave the site or just make a very bad comments to what we are trying to do. So even though for me, yes, we have limited resources and like manpower. However, I always put this educational content at the priority. We do like first translation, and we do two to three round of review and optimization for that. By doing that, I learned a lot again.
The teacher always learns the best. It's one of the principles of Montessori education. Is the older teachers, the older students teach the younger students, and when they have to become teachers, they learn the subjects even better. Yeah, it's very insightful and educational. You're doing amazing work.
Sorry, there's a saying I like, and it's, I am a student and a teacher of everyone I meet. So I think it's very true.
Yeah. And Lise, I just want to bring up, because Diddy put it in the chat, but there's a chat AI program that came out in the last 2 or 3 weeks that will translate anything, any video into any language. So maybe there's some automated help for you there to translate into the different languages once you've refined your educational courses. It literally, I haven't even played with it yet. Diddy said she's been playing with it, but it is brilliant. Like insane, game changer.
Yeah, I'd love to try that. But actually, we also use the software to do like a automated translation and do some rephrase, and especially just for those course or educational content, we have to first we have to understand it, and then rephrase it and make it be easy understandable for the local people. So we do use some softwares and tools to do the primary auto translation, and also keep working and keep optimizing the phrase, the words on it.
Is for you, is the education side and the sort of teaching people and training people, is that like one of the most exciting developments?
For now, yes. Also, if I can, if all the circumstance, all the conditions allowed, I also want to doing those business development, like talking to entrepreneurs, talking to the developer team, and introduce BSV's technology to them. However, for me, maybe the education is got more space for me in China. However, outside China, I kept being invited to give speech on different conferences in different countries. Just we all know that there are so many blockchain crypto events across the world every month. So I need to very careful to select those are suitable for us. So I don't want to waste my time and energy on those not appropriate events this year. So that's the case.
Cool. And are there any more questions that you've got, Robin?
No, this has been a great conversation, Lise. I'm so grateful that you joined us today. It's very insightful.
Is there anything else that you want to say to anybody, Lise?
Well, because it's Women of BSV, right? So I want to say something on behalf of all or women in this industry and all the women in the new technology space. I think it's, and I understand that most of women may think that it's not easy working in this highly competitive industry, especially for me, like 99% of the time I'm talking to men. However, I see things in a positive way because we are a woman. So we are more sensitive to people's emotion. And also we are more careful, smart on some detailed things. And we do have our advantage compared to men. And also I know that because right now there are like fewer women than men in this new industry. So we kind of may get more chance to be recognized.
That's true. Yeah.
In a room full of men, right?
It's very true.
Yeah, a good point.
Yes. As Robin said, you expect that like the upcoming London conference can have a little more female speakers, right?
Yeah,
so we are more.
I checked the website. There's lots of females on the website now. There's at least 4 women speaking already, and I know they're still finalizing their agenda. So, but it's wonderful to see. And you're so right. You know, as much as we talk about the disadvantages and the inequality in pay and opportunity, like I think that sometimes it takes away from the focus. The focus is that it's not hard to get into the industries, any STEM field, whether you're an engineer, a software developer, a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, it's not hard to break in. And to your point, Lise, that you can certainly get recognition, and you can certainly, especially if you're intelligent and you know what you're talking about and you're really talented, that always is going to come through in your talk, right? In your meetings. So I think if anything, we should be hopefully lighting the way to bring more women into the fold of any STEM related, and certainly in the nascent field of Bitcoin and blockchain, there's lots of opportunity for women of all different diversities and skill sets and talents across the globe. And I think that's a very important point that you brought up.
Yeah, so I think I also, like my company, all my colleagues are like ladies. So I think they are more diligent than the male colleagues I have in the past. I mean, in my company, and also they cherish the opportunity to entering into a new industry, and they are hardworking. So I really think that working with brilliant women is kind of a blessing, and also it's a very nice and comfortable experience in my work. So I hope every lady in BSV ecosystem can be confidently being recognized by many people. And also I also think that all the women, all the ladies within BA, they are like very excellent people. I really feel happy working with them for this time.
Thank you so much. That's it's a wonderful, powerful, motivational kind of little speech that you did there as well, because as we said before, it is difficult when you are the only woman in an entire industry in the entire country, which you were in China. Of 1.4 billion people, you were literally the only woman doing, you know, with blockchain experience and mining and everything. So for that, you are, as I said, a hero in my eyes. Yeah, completely.
It's really a lovely conversation with you too. So
thank you so much, Lise, for giving of your time today. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for having me.